WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. It is 5:30 on Friday, June the 28th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News this morning. Yesterday, a scorcher. Today, a scorcher round 2. You're going to want to find some relief somehow to get out of that sun. Let's bring in Kelly McShane this morning. And Kelly, like I said, yesterday was warm. Today, a little bit warmer.
Yes, we are continuing to crank up the heat as well as the humidity. Summer is sure here in the mountains. Let's go ahead and take you outside right now. Outside of our front door, that sun's starting to bright up the sky a little bit, and we're not seeing too much fog out there this morning. But satellite and radar showing a shower that did move through a little bit near Interstate 75, but it has fizzled out, and we have nothing to worry about as far as rain goes for the morning. Temperatures around the region, we are in the 60s and lower 70s, so it's feeling a little bit muggy out there. And if you're heading out on the roads anytime soon, we could see some patchy dense fog, especially in those valley regions within the next few hours. And this afternoon, hot and humid, and definitely can't rule out a stray storm. Summertime is definitely here, and I will tell you how long that will continue in my full forecast, Will.
All righty, Kelly, we'll be back with you. Well, one Pikeville man was arrested Tuesday for allegedly throwing parties involving underage kids. Police charged Anthony Baker following several complaints of illegal activities at the old Rags to Riches building. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has more on why police say they had to act quickly.
Police officers with the Pikeville Police Department say several community complaints,
juveniles drinking, alcohol in the parking lot,
moved them to begin an investigation with the Attorney General's office. That investigation led them to the arrest of Anthony Baker Wednesday.
We gathered a bunch of witnesses, and people stepped forward and brought their children by here. And
they say Baker often threw parties where there was alcohol, drugs, and teenagers. They say Baker purchased the old Rags to Riches building and has since been living here and renting rooms from here.
From the way we can gather a hotel inside there, you know, he rents rooms in there and stuff of that nature, so we really don't know the whole logistics of it yet.
Man says the arrests had to happen quickly to keep the minors safe.
It was an ongoing saga for us to get that stopped down there, and hopefully this will put an end to it.
But he says the investigation is still underway and more charges may be pending. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Baker was released from custody Wednesday afternoon. One man is in jail on child sexual exploitation charges. Kentucky State Police arrested Rex Doan in Pulaski County as part of an undercover internet crimes investigation. That investigation started after police discovered Doan had been talking and meeting a juvenile for sexual acts. Doan is being held in the Pulaski County Detention Center. A Pikeville family has their Polaris RZR and a borrowed trailer stolen from their yard. Homeowner Daniel Day says Tuesday morning his family woke up to find their Polaris RZR 800 and a trailer borrowed from work stolen. The theft could cost the Day family $7,000 for their RZR and an additional $2,000 for the borrowed trailer if they are not found.
Yeah, it didn't only hurt me, it hurt my company as well, you know. Now we're out of trailer if we need to deliver something or something like that till we get one replaced.
Police say if anyone has any information to call the Pikeville Police Department. Troopers responding to a report of an overturned semi on Interstate 70 in rural Missouri Thursday morning made a delicious discovery. Troopers said the driver was merging and overcorrected to the right, going off the edge of the road and overturning, spilling a load of Hot Pockets. The driver thankfully was not injured. Troopers possibly disappointed some hungry motorists by letting them know the snacks were off limits. Well, back here at home, smoking in public buildings is now banned in all of Perry County. A new ordinance makes it illegal to smoke 15 feet away from any public door, window, or inside any public building. We talked to people in local diners that used to allow smoking. They had strong opinions about the decision. WYMT's Emily Bennett has more.
New signs are going up all over the county for an ordinance most are supporting.
If it makes it better for the community as a whole, it's always going to be a good decision.
Local diners that used to allow smoking are throwing out their ashtrays.
There's a lot of older people that like to come in here and eat, and they could never do that before because, you smelled like it when you left. It was overwhelming.
Being able to eat without worrying about their health.
Me being an allergy and asthma sufferer, smoke-free environment where I'm eating, It's wonderful.
Brianna Lucy enjoys a smoke every day, but she knows it's not for everyone.
If I didn't smoke, I wouldn't want to be surrounded by it all the time.
It makes family outings less of a worry.
It's easier to get families, especially people with children, to come out to restaurants and different businesses if they don't have to worry about trying to work around smoking, especially with the high rates of asthma around here.
Local health officials say secondhand smoke can be just as dangerous.
If it's a smoking venue, it is the equivalent to them having a pack-a-day habit themselves for a non-smoker having to work into a smoking environment where that is allowed.
They want people to be aware of the dangers and set a new precedent.
We're wanting to set a new norm. We don't want children to get used to seeing everybody in these places and smoking and think that it's an okay thing to do.
Now people can enjoy a burger and fries with a side of fresh air. In Perry County, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
The city of Hazard passed a similar ordinance back in 2016. Appalachian Regional Healthcare is named one of the top 10 employers in Kentucky. That's from Forbes magazine and a global market research company. Thousands of employees were surveyed on criteria like salary, atmosphere, and working conditions. ARH ranked 9th on the list. They are the single largest employer in southern Kentucky and serve 350,000 residents in Kentucky and West Virginia. Now, just last month, we learned a Canadian-based company, Dashcore Aluminum, planned to invest nearly $20 million into creating a new facility here in Perry County. It is a decision that will bring hundreds of full-time jobs. We talked with the president and CEO of the company for the first time as the company was honored at the annual One East Kentucky dinner in Pikeville.
It was May 10th when Dashcore Aluminum officials announced they were opening a second manufacturing plant in the Coalfields Industrial Park. Officials from the company say One East Kentucky began recruiting them long before that.
A year went by and suddenly we were faced with running out of capacity and making the next incremental growth plan. I picked up the phone and called the folks at One East Kentucky, and they showed up right away to talk to us about it, and that led to where we are today.
Thursday evening at the Appalachian Wireless Center in Pikeville, leaders from One East Kentucky honored companies like Dashcore and the progress made in the last year.
Last year at our dinner in Hazard, I alluded to a couple of companies we were talking to, one in particular, which was Dashcore Aluminum. And Dashcore is announced in Hazard. Now, it took a little longer than I wanted it to for them to announce, but that's okay. Good things come to those who wait, and all their ownership is here to celebrate tonight.
In terms of growth, One East Kentucky has helped bring $157 million in new investments and 900 new jobs to the 9 eastern Kentucky counties they serve.
That's who we're doing this for every day. That's who I think about every single day, the people who don't have jobs. And we've got to do it more, we've got to do it faster. How do we do this to impact this economy in this region?
With certain leadership positions of Dashcore filled and more expected soon, officials from the company say they are excited to get to work.
We see a small community, much like we have in Chatham, Ontario. We see this as a perfect fit. This is like Chatham times 2 to us. We see a potential to grow a very big business in Hazard.
Dashcore plans to begin operations by the end of this year.
That was Justin Case reporting for the final time here on WYMT. Now, Chuck Sexton from One East Kentucky says there are more companies he is actively recruiting to this region. He could not mention any of the companies by name or give a time frame for information about them. Well, Corbin Independent School's summer food service program has new wheels. It brings food to those who may go hungry while school is out. This is the mobile meals machine. For at least 20 years, this food service has recognized a severe need in the community. During summer vacation, workers continue to bring well-balanced meals to young, hungry bellies who depend on school breakfast and lunch throughout the year. As lines continue to grow, workers say only a community effort could have brought this machine to the streets.
It doesn't affect every student or every child that we come in contact with, but for at least a handful, we know that this is huge.
Not including July 4th, these free meals will be brought to the Corbin City Pool around 10:30 and 1 o'clock, Monday through Friday until the end of July. Thursday was the first day of the 4th annual Knott County Fair. The festivities are taking place at the Knott County Sportsplex. Rides, music, and hot air balloon rides are all on the agenda for the weekend. More than 15 arts and craft vendors are set up as well.
Last year was a very good turnout, so we're hoping, it grows again this year. And
Our committee, Mr. Mullins here, and a bunch of other folks have worked really hard to get this, and so hopefully everybody will show up.
The fair is open from 5 to 10 p.m. today and 12 to 10 p.m. on Saturday. Admission is free. Well, later, students in Perry County are raising money to add a fun addition to the Perry County Park for our four-legged friends.
It sure is feeling like summer here in the mountains. I'll break down the heat indices and the rain chances in my forecast coming up next.